Hi everyone, that's just my initials. I go by Dan. Anyway, I was thinking about open wounds, and the first thing I thought about were psychological wounds, and how we don't really know them until we encounter a situation that brings them out. It's kind of like when you have, a cut on your arm that you aren't aware of having gotten, and you're walking around and you crash into a dresser and you're like, oh, ow, and there it is. I was thinking about this in terms of one of the most interesting friendships I've had in my life. This was with a friend who embodied, or he combined in one person, all of the things that I thought weren't supposed to go together in one person. I went to a Catholic school here in Delaware County, and I was taught that if you studied and were very smart, you were good and you went to heaven. If you didn't study and misbehaved during class, you were bad and you went to hell. This was probably a technique of the nuns to get us to do well in class, but it stuck, and it's still with me today to some degree. This friend of mine was a college friend, and he was both brilliant and behaved really, really extremely poorly. Our friendship consisted in him trying to get me to stop studying and go on drinking adventures with him, after which I would be really, really, really hungover and in very poor shape, and he would wake up the next day not having studied and get perfect grades on all of his assignments. I resented him for this, and it didn't make sense. He was a womanizer, always bringing back very strange women to the room that we shared one year. And again, I resented this. And he also had a habit of getting really drunk and falling backwards in sort of a moment of ecstasy. And none of this was supposed to go together. You weren't supposed to be able to be smart and do all of those things at the same time. This was the kind of person I would come back to my room and he'd be sitting there on the couch being like, yo, let's go to New Orleans. What? It's like, yeah, let's just buy a ticket. Let's skip school for 5 days and we'll go to New Orleans. And then I found myself there, like on the Greyhound page, about to buy a ticket to New Orleans before I'm like, no, we can't do this. Anyway, we stopped being friends after his substance abuse. Well, I wouldn't say we stopped being friends. We fell out of contact completely after his substance abuse problems got to be so bad that I really couldn't understand where he was coming from anymore. Years later, and at the time it ended, I did resent him a lot. And then I forgot about him. Years later, I get a Facebook message, and he says, hey, I'm back in town for a little while. Do you want to hang out? I was like, oh, yeah, great. Let's go get a drink. And he sends back a sort of sheepish message. Yeah, I don't really drink anymore. And I'm thinking, he's back in town. I haven't seen him for 3 years. And he doesn't drink anymore, and he wants to see me. I think I know what's coming, but I convinced myself I didn't. So I meet him, and on our way to the restaurant, he turns to me and he says, yeah, man, you know how I said I don't drink anymore? I was like, yeah. He's like, I just want to let you know that I apologize for anything I might have. I'm like, oh, here it comes, the 12-step apology. So you would think that a normal, compassionate person would listen and would accept this as something that wasn't ironic and that was actually part of real life and needed attention. But I didn't quite manage to do that. He's saying, yeah, I really apologize for anything I might have done to you. And I'm thinking, do I still care? And I'm like, no, I don't think you ever did anything to me. Okay. Well, if I can ever do anything for you to make up for anything that might occur to you, and I just turned to him like, yeah, you can pick up my dry cleaning tomorrow. He was like, seriously? I'm like, no, I don't have dry cleaning. And he just gave me this look, this very kind of like, what is wrong with you look? And I still think about that moment and think about, am I capable of being that cold and that mean? And that I consider one of those moments where you have a big cut on your arm that you don't know about, that you don't feel until you just bang into something. That's where your theme took me tonight. So thank you. Thank you. I thought you were going in for a fist bump.